GM CEO Fritz Henderson is planning the automaker's next phase post-bankruptcy. In an exclusive interview, Henderson told Bloomberg Television he expects a decision to be made by the end of June on which of its 14 idle factories will be reopened to build small cars.
There are, basically 12 objective criteria. We've shared those. I don't really want to go into those today, but they're quite objective. Everybody knows what they are, and there would be things you would typically expect: investment, logistics, manpower, people, flexibility, and things like that. Things that are very relevant for for plant selection. There's no surprises there. We just got to run a process.
Mr. Henderson was on Capitol Hill today to meet with members of Michigan's congressional delegation who lobbied for the factory to stay in state. GM is choosing from among factories in Orion Township, Michigan, Spring Hill, Tennessee, and Janesville, Wisconsin. Henderson, along with Chrysler President James Press, will testify before lawmakers tomorrow about their plans to close dealerships across the country. The World Health Organization has told its member nations it is declaring a swine flu pandemic, the first global epidemic, in 41 years. The move came as infections climbed in the United States, Europe, Australia, South America, and elsewhere. In a statement sent to member countries, the WHO says it decided to raise the pandemic alert level from phase 5 to 6. That means a global outbreak of swine flu has begun. The decision was made after the UN Health Agency held an emergency meeting on swine flu with its experts. Here's a stock having its worst day in 3 months, UnitedHealth Group. In fact, it's the worst performing stock in the S&P 500. What's going on? Let's bring in Bloomberg's Zara Burton to find out. Zara?
Well, hi there, Mark. This all has to do with some negative commentary coming from both Oppenheimer and Goldman Sachs. Oppenheimer taking that stock down to underperform from perform. Price target there is about $24, down from $32. There you can see the stock now trading below even that level, off about 8 or 7%. Now, remember that UnitedHealth makes some of its money by managing government-subsidized plans for the elderly. It has to bid on these contracts every year. The analysts are basically saying that the company's bids are too low for the 2010 Medicare Advantage contracts, and they assume that the government is going to lower rates they're willing to pay doctors by 21%. They're saying it's kind of careless. Oppenheimer and Goldman Sachs both say that that is unlikely to happen, and it leaves the company vulnerable if Congress does not go along with these cuts. Now, because of that, Oppenheimer is saying that the company could see a third year of declining operating earnings, which would make it hard for it to retain its multiple as an industry leader. Now, the good news is that with this strategy, United will likely be offering lower prices, lower premiums, and the same type or even more benefits than most other plans. This is good for consumers, not good for investors, Mark.
Bloomberg's Zara Burton. Zara, thanks.